In April 2025, the world's geopolitical and technological landscape shifted. Not with the bang of missiles, but with the quiet hum of a press conference held in Beijing. The announcement was brief. The consequences? Potentially civilizational. China has discovered over 35 million metric tons of high-purity quartz in its provinces of Hainan and Xinjiang. And while to the untrained ear, this may sound like just another mineral find, insiders knew immediately. This was not merely a discovery, it was a declaration of power. This is no ordinary quartz, it's high-purity quartz, the kind of ultra-refined mineral that is vital to the engines of the modern world. HPQ, made of silicon dioxide with purity levels exceeding 99.99%, is essential for some of the most advanced technologies humanity has developed. It is a building block of semiconductors that power your phone, your car, and even spacecraft. Photovoltaic cells that turn sunlight into electricity, fiber optics that carry the digital heartbeat of civilization. This mineral's properties are nearly magical. Its extreme thermal resistance allows it to withstand searing manufacturing temperatures. Its low thermal expansion means it holds its shape under pressure. Its chemical inertness ensures it doesn't react when it shouldn't. And its optical clarity makes it perfect for precision electronics and communications. HPQ is the gatekeeper of high-tech civilization. And now, China owns a mountain of it. For years, China relied heavily on foreign suppliers for HPQ, particularly from the Spruce Pine mining district in North Carolina, widely known as the global benchmark for the purest quartz available. The Chinese tech sector spent over $1.5 billion annually importing this critical resource. But this strategic reliance also exposed China's most vital industries, chip-making, solar tech, defense electronics, telecommunications, to serious risk. In a world where geopolitics increasingly shapes supply chains, the ability to access or deny such resources is more powerful than any tariff or treaty, and China understood the stakes. For years, geologists and state-backed firms scoured the country for domestic alternatives. Now, with over 35 million metric tons discovered, China holds not just a reserve but a potential monopoly. Initial test samples from these new reserves have exceeded expectations. Purity levels are already reaching 495 or 99.995%, and even 498 or 99.998%, a standard high enough for semiconductor-grade silicon wafers and advanced solar cells. These levels are not easy to achieve. The refining process for HPQ is expensive and technologically demanding. But China is accelerating its efforts through massive investments in domestic purification infrastructure. At the center of this effort is the construction of a new National Engineering and Technology Innovation Hub, focused solely on HPQ refinement, crucible production, and silicon material research. This is not just resource extraction, this is vertical integration at a national scale. To truly understand the stakes, we need to zoom out and look at the global tech ecosystem. Semiconductor production is the beating heart of the digital world. From military drones to smart refrigerators, from missile guidance systems to quantum computers, everything relies on silicon wafers, which are created through an elaborate process involving quartz crucibles. These crucibles, made from high-purity quartz, are used to grow monocrystalline silicon ingots, the raw material of the digital age. Without high-purity quartz, there are no wafers, no chips, no tech. And now, with this discovery, China doesn't just have enough high-purity quartz for domestic use, it has enough to supply the world, if it chooses. But semiconductors are just one part of this story. China is also the world's undisputed leader in solar technology, responsible for over 70% of global solar panel production. High-purity quartz is critical here as well. The solar cells that convert sunlight into energy rely on ultra-pure silicon, which again starts with high-purity quartz. With this domestic discovery, China can slash its production costs. Experts estimate that quartz crucible prices could drop by 20 to 30%, leading to significantly cheaper wafer production. This would allow China to flood global markets with even more affordable solar panels, accelerating the green transition worldwide on Chinese terms. This isn't just economic, it's ideological. It's about who leads the future, who defines clean energy, climate leadership, and digital sovereignty. The geopolitical implications are massive. For decades, the United States and its allies have used supply chain dominance as a soft power weapon, controlling access to rare earth metals, precision lithography, and other vital technologies. But now, China has flipped the script. With control over its own HPQ reserves, it can localize entire value chains, from raw material to final product. And it's not just about avoiding dependency on the West, it's about creating dependencies on China. Imagine this: future Chinese tech firms no longer need US quartz. Chinese solar panels become cheaper and more efficient. Global tech companies begin sourcing materials from Chinese suppliers out of necessity. China starts exporting HPQ-derived products, but on its own terms, with political strings attached. This discovery positions China not just as a participant, but as a gatekeeper in global tech. We've seen this before. Back in 2010, China briefly restricted exports of rare earth elements, causing global panic and skyrocketing prices. The message was clear: you need us more than we need you. Now, the same message may be delivered with HPQ, but this time, the implications are even more profound, because this time, the stakes involve the very systems that define global military supremacy, economic resilience, and digital control. The implications of this discovery ripple far beyond resource economics. This is about vision. China's Made in China 2025 strategy already aimed to dominate 10 high-tech industries, from robotics to new energy vehicles. The discovery of domestic HPQ feeds directly into that ambition, empowering China to accelerate development of next-gen chips, dominate clean energy exports, build indigenous defense technologies without Western bottlenecks, and perhaps most importantly, secure its own technological destiny. As nations race to decarbonize, electrify, and digitize, the demand for HPQ will only grow. With 35 million metric tons at its fingertips, China is now poised to supply not just its own revolution, but the world's, and on its terms. The world is entering a new era, an era where the battlegrounds are invisible but the weapons are real: minerals, supply chains, technological capabilities, and self-reliance. China's discovery of vast high-purity quartz reserves is not just about rocks in the ground. It is about geopolitical leverage. It is about economic resilience. It is about who will define the future of civilization. The next great power struggle may not be fought in the skies or across oceans, but in labs, factories, and mines. So, what do you think? Is this the dawn of China's unchallenged rise in the semiconductor and solar age? Or can the rest of the world still compete? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon to stay ahead of the curve on the biggest tech, energy, and geopolitical stories shaping our world. Because make no mistake, the quartz wars have begun.